Welcome to another episode of Vaughan is Local. This is an exciting one. I am thrilled to be joined by Cris Smith from the Sara Elizabeth Centre, and we're going to learn all about this amazing, amazing initiative. Thank you for joining me today, Cris.
Thank you, Daniel. I am honored to be on on one of your segments. This is wonderful. This is exciting for all of us. SEC is short for Sara Elizabeth Centre, okay? So if I say SEC, everybody at SEC is excited to know that I'm doing this today. They were actually hoping it was real live on, and I'm going, no.
You know what?
Leave it the way it is, so then you can watch it after, okay?
Right. Well, you know what? One day when we're like properly allowed, maybe we'll do like a live to air from the center, and we'll do an interview there.
Oh my God! Yes, then I don't have to be the prime person.
It'll be everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
That generation's used to it. Mine,
Well, hey, well, you know what though?
Yeah, go ahead.
You say that, and I watched a short intro video you did where you're the star of that video, and you look natural. You look like you know what you're doing.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay,
and
thank
so
you. That boosts my confidence. Okay, there you go. The only thing we have to pray is that we don't have to do it with masks on, because then we don't see the beautiful faces,
That's right.
Okay, so I'm glad that we could do this maskless. Okay.
Exactly.
Even
well, I've learned now, when you smile with a mask on, I've learned now what my lines on my head look like.
Yes.
It's made me self-conscious. I have less lines down here and way more up here. So
yeah.
But so everybody now, they're at the edge of their seat. They want to know what SEC is all about.
All right, there you go. See, I got you. I converted you already. SEC, see?
Yeah, no, that's it.
There you go. All right.
We're cutting down the talk time and focusing on the important stuff, on the meat and potatoes.
That's it. Okay. All right.
So tell us what it's all about. Yeah.
All right. Sara Elizabeth Centre. When it is a wonderful place. It's a home away from home, I call it. It's a youth center. It's for young adults with special needs. I'm going to use that word, special needs, because there isn't anyone that doesn't have some sort of a special needs, but it is focused on those that may have a developmental disability, a physical disability, and it becomes a challenge for them, especially as they're going through their life, school. Then comes the time when they become post-21. So 21, legally, they can't be in school anymore. They need to have a place that they can continue to not lose their life skills, but then also take it a step further and then move into a direction of what their interest may be. And so with that special need, what can we do to discover their talents into the arts? So we're very arts-based, so it's inclusive arts-based programs for young adults with special needs. So that would be the title of who we are, okay? Gives you a little bit of an understanding that way.
Awesome. Yeah, it's such a relevant, needed, important, and fun thing, like fun way to look at something that for some people is maybe a taboo topic. And when you see the brief peek I've had into what you do there, you can't help but put a smile on your face and say, wow, this is what the world needs. This is what is just so important.
I could go into the logistics. It's like, 14 years ago, we started a charity because we are a registered charity. Yeah. It was called Blue Veil Charity. And the only reason I say that is because Blue Veil Charity always knew that we were going to open Sara Elizabeth Centre. But as a charity, then we were able to go out into the community. And the beautiful thing was the 14 years ago when we founded, so I would be one of the founders with my family. So we are the Smith family. A lot of people know us as the Smith family. See, I have 9 children. So, wow. Yeah. Wow. So the families know one way or another, whether it's the kids or, it's just the community, that we really kind of got in there, right? But as a family, we founded the charity, and I could get into the story maybe a little later of why we did that. But we founded the charity knowing that we would open the actual site, the actual site of Sara Elizabeth Centre, but not being able to open it right away because we had to find a location, but we had to create awareness and we had to raise funds. Mm-hmm. It's just the doors just opened. We were able, and schools, we got into the school boards where we got approved, and the schools would know us as Blue Veil because we went in as Blue Veil. We had to create this awareness. My sons 4 of my sons were involved for 5 years, touring all the schools, doing anti-bullying, character building. So the schools knew us because they'd go in and do live stage musical performances to the whole school for, like I said, with a message. That created the awareness, that created the funds. And then finally, 5 years in, then we had enough of the opportunity came through the Trillium grant that they gave us enough just to open, because then after that you have to sustain yourself.
Right.
And then we got our permanent location in Vaughan, where we could open a Sara Elizabeth Centre. And the beautiful thing about that was, Daniel, is that all the students that we had connected with in the school, all the students, but also the special needs resource classes where we would invite them to come on stage and do a performance with us, you know, like it was very inclusive. That's what we always promoted. Those kids that were 16, 5 years later now are in a position where they need a day program. So it's almost like we could see the hand of God saying, now it's time to open, because we're thinking, why can't we open, you know, 5 years in? But 5 years in, we were more solid, we were more stable. We had well, it had to happen. We had to find the place too. So
Yeah.
we're in Vaughan on Highway 7 in Kipling. It's a beautiful park-like setting. And then I can get into it more as you continue to ask me questions, okay? I don't want to take the whole show here.
Oh no, hey, no, this is about, I mean, this is
But
learning
Blue Veil
about what
Charity
you do.
would, yeah, that's our charity. People would know us also as Blue Veil Charity, but now they also know us as Sara Elizabeth Centre, because that's the actual program where now we don't have to go to the school so much. The schools come to us, because that's what it's all about, a place where they can come to us rather than us always having to go to them, and
Absolutely.
really making them part of the community. So anyway.
Great. So what is right now, like from an age perspective, like the criteria and the range that you can, you bring in? And
right. Well, the beautiful thing about us now having our own locations, we don't have to go renting out spaces for seasonal camps, because we used to do the after school, the March break, Christmas, like the winter break, the summer camp. That we would do. We couldn't do the day program until we had the site. Now that continues. So from age 13, like, so as they go into grade 9, we want to help those young adults, those young students that are transitioning. See, it's all about helping them in their growth. So when they're leaving an elementary school, 13 and up, we're helping them through the seasonal camps to transition. And they come to our programs. They make friends. There's a social aspect. But then, so we get to know them. That's the beautiful part about it. We get to know the ones that 13, 14, 15, 16. But when they turn 21, and maybe we didn't get to know them through seasonal camps or anything like that, there is a need when they're at the end of their high school at post 21, they do have to find a program that they can continue to go to. If they're able to go to work or volunteer, of course, they can do that. But many times that may be on top of maybe going to also a day program like ours. So we're flexible. They don't have to come every day. But even if it's 1 or 2 days a week, then we can support them into that transition of whether they want to volunteer or employment, or just be with us and we continue the life skills. But I'll tell you a little bit more about the programs maybe as we go on. But that's what it's about. It's like from post 21, we really help them into that next stage of their journey, right?
Okay, well, great. So let's talk about the program. Like it is, I mean, there's a lot going on there. So it's not as simple as saying, what do you do? Because it seems like there's a whole bunch of things. But you know, if I'm going into high school, so I'm 13, 14 years old.
Right.
Take me through the process of finding you and joining you, and then what that looks like for, you know, maybe there's not an average story, but, you know, for somebody, what would they do when they come, when they're there? How do they progress and stick around? A day in the life. It's up to you. You give me the run through of what these people are getting out of.
I guess see, if you're coming as a parent who has a child that now needs an opportunity to come to a place where they can have the social needs being met, then beautiful. Then we have Saturday socials and the after school. So we would then definitely connect with that family and then go through a process, and we'd take it very slow. So it's always helping them transition. And so they would come on to a Saturday, and then they would come maybe half a day or maybe a full day. So we would always look at the need of that child, because right now they're still 13, 14. And as they continue to grow, then it's just a process of them tapping into other programs as it's needed. But let's say it's a student that now is in school, it's their last year of school, and they are going to make a transition from high school to the world. That can be hard because parents, number one, it's all about funding too, unfortunately. And so a parent now, that's why they keep kids in school up until 21, because legally you don't have to pay anything, right? They're in a program. Otherwise, really, at 18, grade 12 is finished, like every other student, you know, they'd either go to college or they'd go into a program. But the minute they take them out, they have to personally, as parents, find funding to pay for because it's fee-based, like our program is fee-based. We're not ministry funded, right?
Yeah.
So you keep them in school till they're 21. I found that was a bit of a challenge too, though, because when they're getting older, and so I'll give you an example. We had a young man that was going into the 2021. He's already outgrown a lot of what can be maybe in terms of life skills and that. He needs a little bit more. So we found that because he was coming to our programs, our summer camps or whatever, because he's still in school, sometimes things would happen in school that he wasn't as he'd get a little bit into trouble because he was very high functioning. And so it was almost like he couldn't really do co-op, and he found it really, he needed something more. And so it was so beautiful to be able to work with the schools. That's the nice thing about having a connection with the schools, is that we recognize they know us, we know them, they know they come to our programs after school or seasonal camps, whatever. And we realize now, okay, so what can we do to help in this co-op situation that is very difficult for this young man perhaps to get a placement in a co-op, even if he did get the support. Right now, maybe he's not ready for the world, but maybe we can prepare him for that. So he needs a transitional place. So we said, okay, why don't you have him come to our place and we can do 2 days co-op with us. So he's still in school, but 2 days it would be with us. So what we had to do with Michael is we had to find a place where he could use his gifts, because that's what we're all about. Let's discover your gifts. You may not even know you even have them. Let's discover them, let's develop them, and then let's nurture them. So in this case, it was co-op. So it's like, okay, 2 days co-op. Michael, you are a poet, you are a writer, you are going to head, now this is going back a few years, you're going to head our monthly newsletter. You're going to have what's called Michael's Corner. You're going to interview whoever you want. Well, as time goes on, because this technology just advances so much, we went from actual written newsletters to news broadcasts. So he can then go out in the world and actually, so we started to use the social media platforms, right?
That's awesome.
Created his own blog. Oh my God, he eventually turned 21. He became part of our day program. Now he continues to find his place. We were able to get funding for him, because we became like the mentors. So the funding went for him to create his own blog, to go out and interview. He did it into like the culinary. Anyway, we have our in-house videographer that would go with him, and that was Michael. We had another one, oh my God, we had John Michael, who was visually impaired, but so excited about sports, and all he would talk about is SEC during his Saturday programs, and he'd get ahead with, did you see those Red Sox? And then he'd go, yeah, okay, but the Blue Jays, and it's like, oh my God, these two. We said, okay, John Michael, you're doing your kind of co-op and program with us. You're going to be our sports broadcaster. And we took it, because he was still in school, he actually went, interviewed his coach, and interviewed the students, and they presented it into the school, because he accomplished something during his co-op that was so realistic and so effective, and it really educated the schools. Like, John Michael, like, wow, it's not just let's go spend some time and keep them busy. You see what I'm saying? It's not babysitting. Okay, so I could go on and on, but that's what, anyway, so oh my God, I don't think I even answered your question. So the process is, if they're interested, they have to connect with us, and everyone is an individual case. We have to discover what is it about this child, this young adult, that we can tap into, develop, and then just say, okay, let's go with this. And it may take a little bit longer, that maybe others can do it a little bit. Who cares? It's like, in the end, they're going to shine, because our motto is everyone shines like a star. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's what to me makes it so unique, is that it's not, I mean, you've got programs and you've got things people can join, but you recognize the individuality of everybody. And
for the wrong one sentence.
Oh, it's all good. but I mean, but it's unique, because, and I don't know that you go out there and say, listen, bring your kid and we're going to spend hours and hours developing them. But you are, like you said, identifying a special talent and going above and beyond just preset programs to
Michelle comes to our day program, and it's our, she comes to the day program. So it's not about employment or that, but Michelle is an artist. Melissa is an artist. So what do we do with them? The visual arts, they create these art pieces that then, we can promote, we can auction, we make gift cards, we make Christmas cards. It's like anything we can do also to put it out there into the community, again, to create awareness about their gifts. So it's like, how do we make them? So the goal has to be, or maybe that's the question you want to ask me. What's our goal?
No, hey, run with it.
Okay. No, but realistically, there has to be a goal in this. Okay, yes, discover, develop, nurture. Okay, now what? So what? They've discovered their gifts. They've got this talent in music. They've composed a song. And it's like, okay, so now let's take it to the next level, right? So our goal is that they have to be part of the community. It's not that we're in our little hub and look at what we do and let's promote it just so we can raise funds and keep going. It's not about that. It's about them. Maybe they can get some employment. Maybe they can do some more exposure to the world and educating the world, you know, about inclusivity and their gifts and their talents, and changing the perspective of what they first see, and not realizing that there's something deeper in that individual and how they should be interacting. So I think it's all about social community. It's really getting them to have dignity and contribution. They have to be able to contribute into the community, and we're going to find a way that they can contribute.
That's great. And so are all the people who come to you in the area? Like are they all from sort of Vaughan and surrounding area, or are people coming from all over?
Yeah, thank you for asking that, because sometimes you think, oh, it's a Vaughan Day program, and that's not true, because parents will travel from wherever sometimes to find that right program.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, sometimes they're stuck, but we are in Vaughan, but we have people from Peel, far out in Vaughan, like, you know, it goes quite a bit at Toronto. So we're open to many different, because again, we're approved in all the school boards. So we have retreats. So that's another thing about contributing to the community, but also the inclusivity. It's so important to also bring the community to us. And so what we're doing now is a way of connecting virtually, but thank God for the last 14 years, having the connection with the schools, they are able, once we got our permanent location, the kids get on a bus and they come and spend a day with us. So it's either through workshops, retreats, and it's perfect, because they're trying to do these. Okay, so if it's Catholic schools, there's spiritual retreats, there's a theme behind it. We follow the ministry's curriculum. So it's a spiritual retreat. So fine, we can handle those. I mean, my Catholic background allows me to be a retreat facilitator. It meets the qualifications for the school board, let's say for the Catholic school board. If it's non-Catholic, then we'll do workshops on the virtues, right? Like there's always something that we can present to help educate these young people to realize you're coming into a community, yes, of special needs, but who here does not have a special need? So we don't focus on the needs, the special needs, we focus on the abilities that everybody has. And the ability is that everybody can connect and everybody can listen. And it's just, you have to learn a different way of listening. And so we take the whole retreat in a direction that they have to know who they are. Everyone, and our participants become facilitators, educating them. And then they get to use the gifts that they have, whether it's the arts or the music, whatever, and they'll actually speak to them. And so it's not me. Yes, I'm a retreat facilitator, because there's always got to be someone that coordinates. But the key is then I put them in the front line and they're educating them. So again, it's the connection, and that's what we're doing now today. I'm living what I'm trying to teach and preach. We got to connect, and we have to learn how to listen in a different way, right? And we got to listen with our hearts. So
that's awesome. And you know what, you kind of, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you kind of said something that I mean, people don't think about. And if I'm off base here, stop me, but it's really not about the special need. It's really about what makes everybody special, period.
Thank you. Exactly.
Right?
Not the disability, the ability, right?
Exactly. And so that's what it really shows that you stand for, is pulling out what's special about people. And it doesn't matter what they, can't do. Right? Or what comes more difficult. It's like, let's isolate all the stuff that they can do. And so that's great. So, okay, I've got all kinds of questions, but
I know.
I'm going to do a 2-in-1 here, because they're related. And this is more like the tangible for people who are watching now, who are saying, this is great, but I want to get involved. So they know where you are, but for people who have kids or have family who they'd want to get involved and enroll them, or what, like, how does that process work is the first question. And then I'm going to throw the second question first, and then then it's all you. And then for people who want to be involved as volunteers and want to engage with you and help in that sense, what are those 2 entry points for people, and how can they do that?
Right. Well, that's just it. And a lot of times the schools are aware of who we are, so they can connect with us to help the teachers, the transition teachers, to help the students that know that come. So let's say it's May, June, like the year is happening still for them at school, but it's their last year, and they know that come September, they're not going to be going back to school. So it's really an advantage for the teachers to connect with us, and then we could work something out, like I was saying with Michael, whether it's co-op, whether it's having them come in to visit certain times during that year, that helps in the transitions. That's the school, that's the teachers. Parents would have to connect with us. Either they can call me literally by phone, and it just literally comes, I know I make it get to me. So one way or another, they're going to get me, right? So it's by phone, but on the web, obviously the website will allow them to register or put their information, and I'll get back to them. But a lot of times it's so easy to get a hold of me. And I think that one-on-one is so important, because parents they go through so much that they don't want to waste time. They don't want to go through, and a lot of times they're tired. So you don't want to navigate through too much information and read too much. You want to talk to a live person that's just going to, they can feel the spirit of what that place is even before even coming to visit. Because sometimes if the location is a bit further, they have to know that does it meet their heart's needs of being a loving place, being a place that they can be accepted as whatever they're looking for. Hopefully we will fulfill those needs as well. And it gives us a chance to kind of do an assessment that allows them to say, yes, I'd like to come and visit. But I still invite them to come and visit because we will find a way to accommodate in some way or form. So I think the key there then is like they can do it very slowly. They can come to the Saturday social, come and feel, and then we will pick so that we make whatever we do with that young adult, we got to do it so that they can succeed. So if it means, yes, we want to put them in a program, but maybe it's like, let's take it slow. So again, we will have to, every individual family needs are so important that we focus on their need and not just make it just one big general thing. So they can contact me, no problem, and then we'll take it from there. And then of course my staff would be involved and they would be in the picture and they can meet the staff and they could feel that, get that comfort of knowing. But you know what? The key is it doesn't matter if a parent loves us. They have to bring their child because that child will tell them right from the beginning if they want to be there or not. So we may love a program, but you know what? We don't usually have that problem. So because you can see they do gravitate. So it's like, and I think that answers the parents, fulfills that parents, worry and anxiety, like so we answer those questions. So they visit, they come, they see it, they experience it, and then we just take it step by step that way. Right? So.
Great. And then if people, is it the
Oh,
same
and
thing if
volunteer,
somebody
I didn't
wants to
answer that part,
volunteer?
yeah.
Well,
Okay.
and down here, we're putting the website here as we're talking. So people are going to know how to reach you.
Okay, awesome.
So
Yeah.
we'll make sure people know, but.
And that's why I mentioned Blue Veil because it's www.blueveil.org, and they're going to say, where does Blue Veil come in this? But Blue Veil is the charity, right? So, and then the whole website and everything. With volunteers and student placements and community hours, it's all about coming in and serving. It doesn't matter if you're coming in as a placement because in the end, you're serving. And even though you come with the title, I'm a volunteer, I'm a student, it doesn't matter. To our participants, your staff, you are a friend. You are someone that they'll respect as someone that's come in to be a support. You're like a support worker. So you actually get this nice big title because you're not really a volunteer. You're a social service support worker. That's what you're there to bring support. So you get your title change and you feel really good, right? You're not, it doesn't matter if you're coming as a student in grade 9 or a student that's getting their master's. Obviously, you're at different levels, so you can contribute different support, but we're all supporting. So as they come in, they can, so we're connected with all like Vaughan, Seneca, Ryerson. So we've made that connection. We've gone through the process, we're approved, so they can send their students to us. Unfortunately, COVID has brought everything online and those students right now are not present. Thank God I've got one high school that, they're still trying to do it. We'll see, we can maybe work something out, but we also work with the high schools. And then when we do retreats, a lot of these young kids who have come to spend a day have now connected, and then they'll come up to me and say, oh, Cris, we want to do work, we want to volunteer. All right, come. We've got summer camp that they can come and volunteer. And many of them I've hired through the summer job grants that we get when we tap into. That's and great. They get jobs. And then they get letters of reference. And then it opens the door to social service. It just opens a door. So yeah, they can come and be my support workers, okay? So there you go.
Come one, come all.
Come on, exactly.
Is there anything people need to know? Like, I know when you're working with kids, like, do people need to be equipped with like criminal record checks or things like that? Or
you know what? That's all part of the,
we'll worry about that when the time comes.
No, but what I'm trying to say is if they have a desire and they're coming, the first thing they have to come is they have to come with the right attitude.
That's
you
right.
could have all your papers and you can have all your qualifications and you could be even an artist in the musical component or drama or dance because we're all arts based, right? We love that. But if you can't come and connect and listen with that individual, it doesn't matter how an incredible piano player you are, because you know what? I've got some that are savants and they can sit there and play pieces and blow your mind away because they're just so gifted. So you can come as a musician with the years of training and here they are, they've got it by ear and they're playing it, So they have to come and know how to connect first. So, okay, so that doesn't matter what they bring in. They have to come with that ability to connect.
And as we're talking, the realities of COVID, I have got a kid coming in the room here. So this is going to be edited. Here's
Oh, let me say hi.
You want to say hi?
Oh my God, who is that? Is that your little
That's
one?
it's one of my. We've got one daughter at home today. There she
Hi,
is.
honey. How are you? Come here, I
Woo.
can't see your face. Hi, what's your name?
That's Charlotte.
Hi, Charlotte.
She's home from
Hey.
school today. Want to say
Hi,
hi?
honey. Hi, honey. How are you? All
She's
right. So
she's
bring
shy.
Charlotte to visit, okay?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right.
The new normal. That's what this
Oh
is now.
yeah. Oh yeah. I know.
But
I know.
yeah, so you want to
COVID.
help? You want to help with the interview?
Yes.
So, yeah, and so speaking of that, you touched on it. Here, did you need something before I keep talking? No, you just want to say hi? You're good? Okay. Um, so this is obviously a super, like to say it's a challenging time is the understatement of the year. This
Yeah.
is like a once in a lifetime, we're dealing with it situation.
Yeah.
How has this, you mentioned it a little bit, how has this affected the
Yeah.
center, your ability to deliver programs? Are you still able to connect with people at in a
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah.
How's that going?
You know, when COVID hit, so March break, it was supposed to be March break. We were ready to do our March break. It's exciting because kids who are in high school are now going to come because that's their opportunity, right? And
Yeah.
that's it. We had to close, and then everybody had to close. So 6 months to the date, March 14th, and we reopened September 14th. So in those 6 months, we had to keep that connection. See, like I said, it's all about connection. And so the connection basically is that, you know, we're with young adults, especially we promote inclusivity. How can you promote inclusivity when we've now been isolated? That's the problem.
Right.
Humans are about relationships. And so we're trying to develop those relationships in the community. They're leaving school. Oh, I just love it. I love it. You know, sign language. Oh my God,
I'm
I love
pretending
it.
there's not a hand going into the side
Oh,
of
I
my head.
love it. Did you forget I have 9 children?
Oh no, I know. I don't know. We've got 4. I don't know how with 9. I mean,
You have to be able. Oh,
good for you.
but the best part was, it's like, Mom, how can we still stay on track and know what we're doing behind your back? Because I said I have eyes in the back of my head. I already know.
That's
I
the
hone in.
skill.
But most people that had to talk to me found it hard. It's like they would get distracted, but I wasn't. I could keep going. See, I could keep going.
Right.
Probably
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
distracted.
we're going. It's like the fact that I see it in front of me with the little hand coming in the side, but that's okay.
I
That's
love
okay.
it. But that's
There it
our
is.
world. But you
We could.
see, do you understand? But do
I'm
you
just really
understand? That's what
flexible. That's my hand.
we're very flexible, and I love it. Anyway, so you know what? But see, it's all about relationships. It's all about connections. It's so you start isolating people. It has its own issues just in general. So now you take a community that is so in need of social interactions and being part of community, and take those students that we were trying to help transition,
Yeah.
right? You know, what's her name again?
Charlotte.
What's
Charlotte.
Charlotte? Charlotte, show me your beautiful face.
She wants to say hi.
Can you say
She
hi,
wants to see
Charlotte?
you're showing your hand. You have to show your face. Oh, here she
Charlotte,
comes.
I want to tell you something. Charlotte,
Here,
Charlotte, when Daddy's finished, I want you to go. Charlotte, if Daddy lets you, if you get that time to go on computer, maybe you can go on one of our sites, and we have a song that we teach sign language to. It's you know the song "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." You know that song?
you know that song?
Somewhere Over the
Somewhere Over the
Rainbow.
Rainbow?
Well, we teach
Yeah.
it in sign language, so you can actually do somewhere over. I don't know the sign, but it's so much fun. So maybe you can show her that video after, okay? And she can
Yeah.
actually.
Do you want to learn how to do sign language somewhere over the
Well,
rainbow?
that would be wonderful, because you know what? I could see you've got that gift, okay? So you're going to be able to do that, okay? Have fun, and then maybe if your dad tapes a little bit, I can see it too, okay?
Yeah.
And
You
then you
want to
can
do
come
that?
and visit
Practice
us.
that
Oh my
later?
God, that would be so much fun. All right, okay, good.
We're gonna do it.
And you know what? And that's exactly the thing. Because we did not want to lose that connection and that relationship, obviously it's like, okay, we're stuck at home. Let's not focus on COVID. Let's not focus on the negative. Let's focus on the fact that, hey, we've got the online resources that we could tap into. We created the 10 sessions. So every 2-3 weeks, we would give them a session. So if you actually go on Sara Elizabeth Centre Facebook or YouTube, you'll see that the last 10 segments, because we do news broadcasts, we've always done that along the way. But once COVID hit and we couldn't be together, we created online resources. And so all our staff, their faces were still being seen. They were still feeling connected with our, because they made connections with our volunteers and with our staff, because again, they're not volunteers, they're staff. So
Right.
each one is taking a life skill, a culinary skill, a music component. So they were all doing it online as an online resource. And then if they were more advanced and they felt the need that they wanted more, we had the Google Classroom, so they could actually go do like I just said to your daughter, just go on and practice it, and then do your part and send it back to us. Again, the interaction, because you want them to continue to participate as well. So participation, integration, inclusivity. COVID or no COVID, we cannot lose those areas of real deep human connection. So yes, I'm glad we're doing this, because you know what? Why should we stop connecting, you and I, and communities and businesses and supporters and fundraising, whatever it is. I don't think we should use that as an excuse. Well, now we're stuck at home. No, let's be creative. You know what we're doing? Just like we help our young adults discover, I think we're all discovering Zoom. Like, where was Zoom in my portfolio?
Right.
Now it is. Like, you learn, you adapt, you stay open. If they can find a way to learn a new skill, well, you know what, then they're teaching me, just like she's teaching me also
Right.
how to be happy, because you know what, she's happy to be home, and it doesn't matter. We have to embrace that moment of whatever the day gives us, right?
That's right.
All right.
This if there's ever been a time where we take things as they come, it's right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
This is like
exactly,
the
exactly.
ultimate adaptation is what we're living
But we
right
have
now.
to focus on the positive, Daniel, not the
Absolutely.
negative. We know what the negatives are. We know what the numbers are. And of course, we have to be prudent. And of course, we have to keep it safe. And we have to do whatever we have to do to keep them safe. But then in the meantime, it's like, okay, so now we've done all that. We've done our, our homework. We've done our protocols. Now let's go have fun. And, so what can we do today to make the day a little bit different than yesterday, and hopefully continue tomorrow in the joyfulness, joy. So many little themes that we create, but always the positive one, joy, right?
Exactly. Well, that's it. This isn't, for a while we all treated this like a big pause, but
Yeah,
really
yeah,
it's just a different way of moving forward.
it is. It is.
We're taking, like, there's the people who have told themselves they need to take a negative and turn it into a positive.
That's right.
Is
That's right.
just, those are the ones who are, nobody's thrilled with the way things are going on right
No,
now,
it's
but you
not.
make the best of what it is. And like you said, I mean, opportunities like this, we wouldn't have even ever thought to start
Yeah, yeah,
talking to and meeting and getting to know groups of people who we didn't know were out there,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like we are right now. So, it's just great to get to know, people like you and
You
and
know
the
what
things
we're
that you
doing,
do.
Daniel, too? I think we're planting seeds. Young people is that seed that sprouts, and then and then we see the fruits of it. That's what it is. They watch us. We are such examples, and if we can keep a smile on our face, even with a mask, kids, and special when there is a bit of a special needs, they really need to read the mouth. They need to read our expressions, because that's a lot of the communication too, because I say listen with your heart. But a lot of times you have to see it, because they can't verbally express themselves, and so you do it in a different way. Masks make it more challenging, but you know what, we'll find another way. They're still going to be able to read our eyes, our hand gestures. Look, Italian gestures, like, I mean, we can
Right.
figure it out, right? If they've got
Right.
emojis, we could do physical emojis or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know
Exactly.
the word. Okay, but that's what it is. I think we're planting seeds, and we'll just keep watering them and throwing the sunshine in, and we're all gonna benefit as we move forward in at some point, right?
That's
So,
it. I mean, I want to believe that kids today are, as challenging as this is, they're going to be the most resilient group of
yeah,
people as they grow up, because going through this when you're 6,
yeah,
10, 14 years old,
yeah, yeah.
it's we lose sight of how challenging it is for the kids, because all the adults focus on, well, this is difficult, they're home, March break lasted 6 months.
Yeah, yeah. I have
Um,
to chuckle a little bit, because I homeschooled 4 of my children,
oh,
right?
so
So as I
you,
said, yeah.
yeah, so
So
it's,
I've done the homeschooling, I've done the teaching, and so now it is different because it is online. I kind of didn't make use too much of the computer, because I homeschooled still, being the teacher and, with the books and all that. But I just think it's so funny, because I think it's it's okay. This is fun because there's so many blessings also having your children around and having a little bit of that input of what they're learning. There's such a blessing. So your little one being home is a blessing today, and you're going to cherish this. And I'm cherishing the fact that I'm getting to know her, because who knows, maybe we're planting seed and one day she'll come and volunteer, right? You never know what one opportunity, one episode of your life can do for you in future. And the reason I say that too is because some of the workers that have come back to SAC to volunteer and to actually work with me, I've known them as children, or I've seen them in their journey, or the connection's been there in the past, and then here they are, teachers, young adults, social, and I'm going, oh my God, who would have thought that years ago, when we were going through our own maybe turmoil and challenges that allowed us to found Sara Elizabeth Centre, that here you are participating and being a part of it. So that's right. Maybe if I could share with you maybe why I named it Sara Elizabeth Centre.
Yeah, I want to know the whole story. We have nowhere to go.
And then you can edit wherever you want, okay?
We have nowhere to go.
All right, okay. Well, Sara Elizabeth Centre, obviously it's a name that we wanted to create as the center, but then we had to go under a cherry, so we created Blue Veil, and that has a story of its own. But I'll get right to Sara Elizabeth Centre. Sara Elizabeth is our 8th child. She passed away 26 days after her birth. We were pregnant with her, Sara Elizabeth, and we didn't know that there was going to be any problems. It's our 8th child. We've had 7 more. They were healthy. Yeah. But when she was born with a condition called trisomy 13, which really, she should have, according to doctors, she should have died in my womb. She should have been a stillborn birth. So it's a miracle that she survived the birth. It was a miracle that trisomy 13, it's like, it's a chromosome. So like Down syndrome is trisomy 21. This is trisomy 13, but it's quite more intense. It affects a lot of the organs. So she would have been blind. She would have been deaf. There was a lot of things that would have been challenging, but the heart was so deformed that she really shouldn't have survived. And yet she survived. So I know God has a plan for each and every one of us. So she survived the hour. She survived 2 hours. She was a dying child. She survived the day too. When we realized that, okay, you know what, we're going to let God decide when it's time. We're taking her home. We had the beautiful opportunity to have her for 26 days in our lives, right? But I had to write a book about it. There's a whole video that my son, who's a videographer, created, a documentary that's going to be coming out. So that is a story of its own. But the reality is, it was Sara, and when I do retreats, I share the story, but I take it in a different level, and I really I make it attached to the theme that I'm trying to help them understand, that they were created for a purpose and a plan, and that they're on this earth to be joyful and hopeful, because God really does have a purpose for each of us to be happy. But something happens along the way, and then what do you do with it? And even there, so I try to really bring it into, again, that positiveness. Yeah. We had to grieve. We had to go through the whole challenge of, while she was alive, knowing she was dying, we had to go through the process of death. But you know what? We focused on the love. We focused on the community being there with us. And so there were so many beautiful things that happened. And who would have known that today we have Sara Elizabeth Centre? We started off after her death, like realizing that sick kids called me and said, would you help this parent who has a child like Sara, that, and she was dying. And it was like, okay, it just came natural just to do it on my own. From there, then it was like it was like supporting. Then a good friend had a charity that she said, Cris, would you run a program weekly called Sara's Corner? So I was supporting mothers with babies with for 3 years. But that funding ended. And then we realized, okay, this has to continue. And that's when my children, Sara, their sister, because I have 6 boys, then I had a girl, and then I had the second girl, Sara. Then when Sara died,
the first 6 were all
boys? The first 6 are boys. Then we had Marianne, and then we had Sara Elizabeth. And then we had Stephanie after Sara died. 10 months later, I got pregnant again. And I had Stephanie, right? But the thing is, their sister, who would have known? Their sister wasn't even born. And yet, their journey took them with working with kids who had special needs, like Jeff, he was a lifeguard. He was only 13. And Daniel, who now comes to our program. Today, he comes to our program. But he was a little kid. He had to go swimming. The mother could not register him because I guess they didn't have a support worker, because they just didn't have the help in the pool and the recreation, whatever. And so she had to find her own support worker, and she calls and says, do you think Jeff would do it? And I said, Jeff, would you be Daniel's support worker? And he goes, Mom, I've never done this. I said, Jeff, you've got enough brothers and sisters. You can do, well, brothers at the time. You
Yeah.
can do this, right? And he did. And that opened the door for him to go into that support work. He's a child youth worker. But the point is, it's like, we didn't know that, so seeds were planted. Today, Daniel is in our program. It was like, yes, Lord, who would have thought that years later I would have a child, she would be disabled, and she would, you know, it's a journey. But it was so beautiful that we realized as a family, this can't end. And so we opened a charity. It was a big leap of faith. 5 years, you know, there's no real funding. It's just whatever we can create, whatever we can bring in with them performing, with them creating this awareness. We survived it. And then it was just a matter of opening the day program. Like I said, we're fee-based, and there's no ministry funding. So we have to rely on you know, galas, which is not going to happen this year. We've had, you know, years of galas every February. That's not happening this year. So I don't even know what we're going to do now. But you know what? We're going to stay positive, because there's these virtual, we'll figure it out, you know?
You know, I have every confidence in the world with your story, with what you've done to this point.
Yeah.
I have no question in my mind. You'll do more than figure it out. I think you're thriving.
Parents are happy we reopened, Daniel, and that we're running. And I really hope with these numbers going up that we don't get called to be locked down again, because parents are happy again. We're being very safe, and you know, we can only have up to 15. Fine, we'll only have up to 15, but we cannot allow it to go in a direction where it stops again. Let's pray that we can all do our part, and that we can stay open, because they can't be isolated. We have to go with every day, and let's not even go there. Okay, right now we're open, we're having fun. The weather is wonderful, so we've got this park-like setting, so we're outside as much as we can and keeping it safe, so they don't, you know, they can take their mask off a little bit. And it's just, we're gonna make it so that it's humanly possible, you know.
Right.
So there you go. And it's humanly possible to have visitors. So Daniel, you can come and visit. Okay, so now schools are not coming. We've lost that kind of opportunity right now that we really were blessed with, and the kids were blessed with, to be part of our, you know, visit. But it's okay, we'll get creative. Maybe we have to break the numbers into really small groups, or have visitors, because we always have artists that come. So it'll happen, it'll continue.
I will be visiting, and
Yes.
I guess when it's appropriate, I'll bring a kid or two with me.
Oh, absolutely. And do you have any arts with you? Because anybody that comes with a musical background or anything, we put you to work. Okay, we get you.
I play
we
the
give
drum.
you a guitar.
I'm a drummer.
Okay. Oh, you're a drummer. I knew it. And my son Phil is a drummer. Yes, we have drums. You know what, Daniel, if I may mention now, what we're trying, our future goals now is, as much as, you know, we're doing all this discovery, the reality is we want to be as professional as we can. So when we do our broadcast, when we do whatever we do, it's not just because we're playing and we're just, you know, trying to keep them busy. No, it's to get out there. Okay. So the broadcasts have to become more really educational, in the sense to educate the community, right? But we're looking at really fixing our downstairs, in the sense that like we have all our audio and our visual and our drum sets and everything, but it's got to become a little bit more professional, because they're so talented. We've got to start recording their stuff. We've got to start getting their stuff out there. So we just need to get creative. We'll find grants. We'll find more donations. We'll figure it out, and it'll happen. But that's our goal. We've got to become even more professional, more realistic, that we're viable. We're not just, oh, it's just a day program in a corner somewhere in, you know, wherever we are, and we keep them busy. No. We are productive. We are functional, and we've got artists that come and we collaborate. So yes, Miss Drummer. Yes. Okay. Your daughter can come. We can, you know, we'll give her lessons, because sometimes parents, you know, you have to go outside. Awesome. This is awesome. Thank you.
Great. Well, so right now, I mean, you're open, and I know it's obviously it's limited, but what sort of are there spots now, or are you at capacity because it's so limited with the number of people?
We're very flexible, so that even though we're serving quite a number of families, not everybody unfortunately can afford to come every day. That's what the problem is. They only have so much in their budget. So as much as they'd like to come every day, they can come 3 days a week, 2 days a week. So we have certain days that still can be filled in. Saturday social is not a problem. We have that available if they want us to at least start that, so we can start to transition. Because everybody that comes that's new, because remember, we've got our cohort, we've got our regular group that's safe. So as Saturday continues, we'll transition them, then we'll introduce them, we'll make them a part of our cohort. So there is space, there is, and we can always work it out. Even to the point that because I have enough space, even if I have to create a second cohort group, we have a big banquet hall on our property that I could, even create 2 groups right now if I have to, you know, and then as we, so that's not a problem, you know. And so if anybody's interested, please feel free to connect with us and we'll work something out. And then again, we could probably even incorporate some online if we have to go there. Right now, I'm trying to get them. They don't need that much. They need to come in. And yet, if we have to, the 1 or 2 or 3 that cannot come, we're not going to forget them. We're going to get them involved and included as well.
Absolutely. So, okay, so people can reach you on the website. They can reach you. Can they follow you? Is there social media that they can follow?
Yes, so there's the Instagram, so Sara Elizabeth Centre, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. So Sara Elizabeth Centre, that's all they have to, I guess, type in and it all comes up. It'll all
show up. It'll all show up.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, people need to, if you're not following yet, now's the time. If you haven't clicked yet, stop watching this video, go click, go look around. You have to reach out to Cris and her team because there's just so many good things that you're doing. And whether or not, you know, you have a special needs child or, you know somebody, be involved in such good initiatives like this. And this is my call out to everybody saying, you know, it goes beyond just the feel good. You know, people do things to feel good or whatever. This is just, it's enriching for people to engage with this sort of a thing. It's just, it makes you bigger as a person, I think, to just engage and get to know what we're trying to do. What I told you, we're trying to get to know what's out there, explore your community. And this is a hidden gem in the community that I hope.
I think that's what it is. We are kind of hidden. It looks like a cottage sort of setting at the end of a street that's a dead end, but you're still part of the city. So you don't feel that disconnected because it is about connection.
That's right. You're like a retreat. You're a retreat.
Yeah, exactly. A little retreat house. And it looks like a house, but it's a center. And I think that's the key there, that being a youth center, we have a lot of young adults too, that when they come to volunteer, or they're benefiting so much to build their confidence because they're so talented, but they don't even let people know how talented they are. But because our place is a place where you're unconditionally loved, you're not judged, and they're using their gifts, all of a sudden, these students that are coming for placement or volunteers or just coming to be a part of even of the program itself, because it's very vocational, and they're discovering that they can use those artistic gifts to express themselves, but then even to take it that step further. Michael should be in university at this point. He's not, because he's not comfortable yet to do that, but we're going to help him with his online courses if he wants to move in that direction. But at the same time, he's a writer, so he's writing his book. So that doesn't mean he's not going to accomplish his goals. Right. That's what I'm saying. So to build confidence and self-esteem, I think that's a place where you can come and really discover that as well.
Well, that's great. And if there's artwork, we would love to feature some of the artwork on our social media. Show people some of the cool stuff that's done.
Yeah.
But I mean, we could talk for hours. We could talk but I'm going to visit. So we're gonna meet face to face. This is as face to face as people have been lately.
I know. But maybe one of the like if they go on our website or on our YouTube videos, there's a lot of videos that they could see things. But there's one in particular where Michael, because we used it for one of our galas too, because again, when you do a gala, there's a lot of people that don't know who you are. So we have to provide a sort of a, you know, for time's sake, all that, we provided a little video, and Michael shared one of his poems, and some of the kids get to explain what it feels like to be in their body and how people look at them. So it's the SEC Gala 2019, and that video, it's them speaking, and they get to see a little bit of you know, their world and what they're trying to make the world, how they want to educate the world to see them, and it gives a little bit of an understanding of who we are. So maybe that could help a little bit too.
Yeah. We're gonna now we're gonna put that YouTube link. Now that's down here now as we're talking. Click that now.
I love this. I love this technology.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well,
okay, that's awesome.
Well, Cris, I truly appreciate taking the time to chat.
Well, so much for 15 minutes, right?
15 minutes. What's an hour between?
Yeah, that's it, you know. So when you come and visit, do not come for 15 minutes. You will not, you know, you'll need an hour.
Exactly. It's
right.
Not play one song and leave. No, it's going to be.
No. And speaking of songs, that's just it. Like if you have songs that you'd like to play, oh my God, we can do things together. So yes, come and share your talents with us as well.
That's
right?
cool. And I want to see everybody else's talents too.
Okay.
I'm the audience, but that's great. Well, hey, thank you again. And, and we will definitely speak again soon. And hopefully as restrictions get lifted, oh, Charlotte,
I'm so glad she's back because I was going to say I want to say goodbye to her.
you want to say goodbye?
Can we say goodbye to each other? Can you wave bye? Thank you, honey. It was a pleasure meeting you. Okay.
We're going to
Say
practice
hi to
some
your
words
mommy.
today.
Say hi to Katie for me, and because I
will.
know that you're a tag team as well, and
That's
that's
right.
wonderful. And yes, it speaks volumes of who you are. This is it. This is who you are. The love
That's
of
right.
children, and
What
thank
it's
you
all
for
about.
sharing that with us, with SCC, because you know we're all going to watch this, right?
That's right. That's right. You're a star now.
So what's your name again? Say your name, honey. What is it?
She's
What is
like,
it? Say it again.
oh, she's dropping. It's Charlotte.
Charlotte. We're not going to forget that. Okay. Awesome.
All
All
right,
right,
great. Well,
Daniel.
thank
God
you
bless
again.
you. Thank you for everything. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We
All
will
the
see you
best.
soon. Take care.
Take care, Daniel. Bye bye.